minutes, and welcome back to an episode of the Liverpool series with me, Dr. Benji FM. Now, some interesting things have occurred. We're at the end of January, or the 13th of February, and there's lots to tell you. Just one game to play today. Juventus in the first leg of our Champions League knockout stages. Ooh. And if you looked at the league table, you can see the things in the league are going rather well. I've never been so successful a Football Manager. I'm not really sure how to react or cope with it, but my God, am I enjoying it. And you can see some big results there. When did we last meet? It was a while ago, wasn't it? It was the Huddersfield game after the Chelsea win, and since then, no defeats to speak of, only a 0-0 draw against Burnley, which we won the replay 1-0, hardly convincing. But since then, you can see in the league, West Ham, Cardiff, Watford, Tottenham and Newcastle, all well beaten. And there's something to be said for those games, as well as something to be said for the fact that Andrea Belotti's name is there, who scored for it. Yes, we should probably talk about that first, Ben. So that's right, we had money to spend in the January window, and I wasn't too sure what to do with it. And with Roberto Firmino being out, we only really had Daniel Sturridge or Fekir playing that pressing role, and I wanted someone who was a similar mould to both those players, but more of a finisher, and Andrea Belotti presented himself to me. We've got him for, £47.5 million, and started his career at Liverpool very, very well. A goal and assist in his 2 league appearances, so I'm delighted with that. From Torino, I think a player that lots of people probably pick up, and I think for quite a big price, but a very reasonable contract, it must be said, actually. £67,000 a week, not too bad at all. We've got him on a 4-year deal, or 3.5-year deal at Liverpool. I'm delighted with it. I think it's very good. Obviously, the injury concern to Mo Salah going forward is a problem. 3 weeks, we'll miss this game against Juventus and might not be available for the second one either. Not ideal. But as I say, we're only going to do one game, so let's focus on a few other things then, and just how this tactic that we're using right now, and I'll show you it so you can see it with your eyes. There we go. You can see lots of links have formed now amongst the team. It's really nice to see. Trent and Salah certainly combine nicely, as do Robertson and Mane on the other side. Van Dijk and Gomez are superior, and they're so good. They're so good, it's ridiculous. Fabinho and Keita have got a little bit of a blend as well. And Fekir, in this attacking Salah role, plays fantastically well. So far this season, he's really putting in a shift. 8 goals and 5 assists for me. Of course, failed move to Liverpool. This is maybe how he would have done had he been here. And some of the other midfielders have been a bit unfortunate. Wijnaldum had some injury issues. At the moment, Jordan Henderson's out injured. Of course, Oxlade-Chamberlain has been out for the foreseeable and or for the past as well. And James Milner has been in a similar situation. So if I had to try and find a solution, and Fekir has definitely given us that, Roberto Firmino is nearly back to full fitness. He's very, very close. But Belotti, as I say, to play in that pressing forward role is working really nicely. And the system, as I say, as a whole is working really well. We're scoring lots of goals. But the big thing for me, and that's what I've noticed, with this triangle of Fabinho, Van Dijk, Gomez, and Alisson Becker in goal as well being superb for me, is just how many times the opposition have shots on target. And it is not a lot. Let me show you what I mean. So bear with me as we go through these, because we'll go through the last, 5 Premier League games to give you the example of what I'm talking about. So in the 3-0 win over West Ham, of course, it's great for us to score 3, but we restricted them to 2 shots, just the 1 on target, and the pattern continues. Against Cardiff, 3 shots, 2 on target. In the 4-0 win over Watford, 3 shots for Watford, only 1 on target. We had 23 by comparison. In the 5-0 win against Tottenham, more shots for them, slightly better side as you might expect, but 8 shots, only 3 on target again, restricting what they can do. And when you're scoring 5, it doesn't really matter what they do. And most notably as well in the Newcastle game recently, 18 shots for us, 9 on target. For Newcastle, 2 shots, just 1 on target. And that really has been a theme of our season so far. We are restricting teams from having quality chances. You can see in our last 7 games, clean sheets in every single one of them. In fact, our last 8 games, if you don't count the QPR game, which we're not for the start of 8 games, looked really good. And we're only conceding 1 most of the time. You've got to go all the way back to Manchester City in, November to see when we conceded 2. The same thing happening against Hoffenheim. For the rest of the season, it's only happened on a couple of other occasions, notably against Watford and Everton. So you can see defensively, Liverpool are much stronger. I think that's something that in real life Jurgen Klopp has managed to develop, and I'm seemingly doing it as well with this team. The defence, as I say, are very, very good. Gomez and Van Dijk at the back are sensational. I mean, that says there he's getting worse. He's not. He's getting better, believe me. And Van Dijk is, I've mentioned him before aerially, but he's an absolute terror for defenders because he's quick as well. It's so difficult. Strength, quickness, jumping, reach, fantastic marking and tackling as well. 8 goals in 5 assists for him. It's almost it's the like Fekir has got similar to this. That's the situation we're in. A 7.71 average rating for his performances this year. If you take a look at the Premier League as a whole, only Trent Alexander-Arnold. I know it gets weirder. Trent Alexander-Arnold has the highest average rating in the Premier League right now with a 7.81. Lots of assists, lots of those going on Van Dijk's head from corners. But you can see then, based on the average ratings, we are dominant. That top 6 or top in the top 10, only 4 players are not Liverpool players. It's fantastic to see. Fabinho playing brilliantly, Gomez, Robertson, Salah, Van Dijk, Alexander-Arnold. I still have one issue, Football Manager, people at Sports Interactive. Goalkeeper ratings should be higher, in my opinion. Like I don't know what we have to do to get them higher, but as I said before, if you look at Alisson, 13 clean sheets and 16 conceded in 26 games. Half of his games are clean sheets, and he's only on a 7.12. I just feel like goalkeeper ratings, a clean sheet should give them more every time, just sort of almost regardless of what other teams are doing or what other players are doing. I just think they should be higher. That's my only problem with goalkeeper ratings. They should be better. It's almost like we're admitting now, as a footballing community, goalkeepers can never be winning like awards for any sort of high level competitions or like the Ballon d'Or or anything. They can't. They're not going to do it. So, but you'd argue to say Becker this season is fantastic. He's got just as many clean sheets. Ederson might be a good example as well, actually. 14 clean sheets for him. Not even on a 7 rating in the Premier League. It just seems like goalkeeper ratings have got an issue. So I just wanted to draw that to everyone's attention. And hopefully in future years we see some more progression with that. Because for whatever reason, they just don't perform well in the match engine. Okay then, this game against Juventus. Time to get involved and go through the team for today's game. You've already seen Salah's injured. Robertson's struggling. Changes have to be made. Now, luckily for us, with the rotation policy that we're using, everyone's quite fresh at all times, which is really nice to see. And if we're dropping Salah out, then Shaqiri comes in and fits that mould really, really simply and nicely for us on that right-hand side. The rest of the team largely remains untouched, and fitness-wise, again, we're looking really good, considering we're in the February at the moment. This is really positive to see. Becker, of course, will be in goal. Sorry, everyone, I have to do this. Just Alisson. I know you've got Alisson in goal. That's what he's known as. Trent at right back, Gomez and Van Dijk, of course, in the centre, Moreno at left back, Fabinho, Keita and Fekir. That midfield three. I love this. I want this to be a thing, and I want it to be a thing in real life. Mane one side, Shaqiri the other, and Belotti, who you'll get to see more of, hopefully, in this episode as well. Hopefully getting on the score sheet, of course, playing against an Italian rival that they've known so well at Torino. So, into this we go. Again, tactically, if you're interested, when we can put things on the workshop, I'm definitely going to upload this tactic, because I think it's got something about it that makes it really good. It's a vertical tiki-taka, but as you can see, it says custom, which means I've changed a few things here and there, and into it we go. Right then, we're in good form. Juventus, a tough old task, though. Top of Serie A, Ronaldo banging in the goals, and interestingly playing on the left in this formation. Mandzukic through the middle, Dybala. Their team is very good. No Chiellini, interestingly, not playing in this one, and when Barzagli, I mean, their bench is equally very good. Ours has got Lovren on it, so different. I actually like Lovren. I shouldn't be saying this. All right, then away as well. This could be tough. All right, we're going to go for the passionate approach. It's what I go with most of the time, and they seem to respond quite well. Of course, in big games against Barcelona this season, we've looked really good. Can we do it against Italian giants? That's the question. As there's only one game today, let's watch it in 3 dimensions. Why not? In a TV angle as well. I'm treating you. You can see the players stood there then while the Champions League anthem plays. And, I mean, they're not really... They did a huddle. Some of them were involved. Some of them weren't. All right, we'll zoom out a little bit so we get a better view of it. And I might slow it down a touch as well. Let's just see. Yeah, just by 1. And now, interestingly, Ronaldo... Didn't know this. Ronaldo is suffering with a bit of an injury and has been forced into this game. What injury has he got, actually? If you can check this, I would love to. Calf strain. Okay. Not ideal for them, as a corner's played in by Pjanic to the back post and over the bar. Well, will Ronaldo have to go off quite early then? That's interesting. They can see here then how we build from the back. Alisson plays it out to Gomez. The centre-back's completely split, and our full-backs push on a lot as we start things off. But obviously we've got to be wary of... There's a lot of talent in the Juventus team, and I'm concerned that if we do lose it in those areas, they might punish us more so than maybe a Cardiff City would. No disrespect to Cardiff. As the ball's played in, it's an own goal by Van Dijk. It's an own goal by Van Dijk. I mean, not ideal, viewers. I mean, we're seeing it again in a very similar angle. I don't really know how this has happened. We'll go to the behind goal to see as it sort of hits him. It just sort of goes through. We're 1-0 down, viewers. Well, that is somewhat disappointing. I'm going to encourage them. The problem I've seen this year is that if players make mistakes, especially own goals, it was similar last year, their average rating and overall performance drops significantly. That is a worry. All right, let's see. Can our pressing game get the best of Juventus? And I say with some very good technical players, as a great slide tackle coming into there from Shaqiri. I mean, he came out of nowhere to do that. And now building from the back with Van Dijk as he gives it inside to Fekir on a booking, but not a problem as... He chips over himself, does begin to press though. I'm not concerned that he might, because like those two players, Keita and Fekir, they press the most. I can do with them not getting sent off, as Keita, you can see, wins it back after the press, and Shaqiri is in acres of space. Belotti finds him. Shaqiri now running at this back line with a right-footed shot over the bar. Not ideal. It's amazing me that Ronaldo is suffering. Apparently, I think it said there, Fabinho's hurt his wrist as well, which isn't ideal. He's on the ball now, though. You can see there Trent bursting forward, and Keita finds him. Ball played into the centre. Shaqiri was fouled somewhere in all of that. As it falls to Shaqiri, we're playing advantage. Oh, and it goes in! Shaqiri with the goal. The referee actively played advantage. Let's take a look at that again. Did you see that in the build-up? Shaqiri was fouled. If it was inside the area, it would have taken the penalty. But let's look at that again. Keep your eyes on Shaqiri on the edge of the box. Fouled there on the edge. The referee decides he sits there, plays advantage to the incident. Shaqiri then chests it down, touch out his feet, and off the chest of their defender, it's into the back of the net. His 8th goal of the season has been really good for me, and we're back on level terms. And it's Juventus take the kick off. You can already see how the press works. Keita very much getting up in amongst it. Fabinho there as the shield to everything to make sure that if we do get a little bit caught out, we've got sort of that 5-man defence ready and waiting for any further attacks. There's Pjanic now on it. He's got this option on this right-hand side, if he wants to find it. De Sciglio has got it. If the ball in could be dangerous. Mandzukic is big, as is Ronaldo. As Ronaldo rises with his injury, still gets up there and just heads over. We've got lots of match stats there. Too many match stats, if anything. It's interesting. Quite quiet down Juventus' left-hand side where Ronaldo is. We've not seen too much from him. As that's half-time then. Quite an even game. An away goal. I should note, actually. An away goal. Obviously, I'm a big fan of the away goals, as I should be. Neymar and Mbappe have got a couple against Schalke as well. But that could prove pivotal. That Shaqiri goal. If you can get another one, even better. All right, passionately say that I'm pleased with how things are going. Keep it up. I am pleased with how things are going. This is a lie. I'm just gonna get out. We're 1-1 away at Juventus. I am pleased with how things are going. The goal was a bit of a fluke. Like, I'm not too cross about that. All right, we're going to stay on balance for Ronaldo. We'll see how we progress. If Ronaldo goes off, which he has, the idea for me is now to go a little bit more positively. They'll probably feel like it's a bit of a setback for them. Cuadrado, very good player. Douglas Costa's moved across, but it should give us a little bit more emphasis to try and get forward. Belotti, so far, by the way, having quite a quiet game. Away from home, did it against Barcelona. Daniel Sturridge is going to come on as that advance forward and hopefully finish off something that Shaqiri and Mane can feed him. Right, 20 minutes to go, game on. They've made a couple more changes in the centre. They've freshened things up a little bit. I might do the same thing, take Fekir off, put Keita across and bring Wijnaldum into the centre just to keep things ticking over. I'm tempted to go a little bit more direct, but I don't think we will, just to try and get the best out of the wingers, but it doesn't seem overly necessary. I've got to be honest, if you'd have offered me this at the start of the game, a 1-1, away at Juventus, stay unbeaten for the foreseeable future, it's going very well, then I'll take it. 40 seconds to go. Let's hope there's not a sucker punch right at the end from Juve as Alexandro, the Brazilian on this left-hand side, finds a lovely ball in. A tackle flew in from someone, I think it was Wijnaldum potentially. It seemed like it was a midfield player. And now maybe a breakaway as Sadio Mane racing at their back line. And this isn't quite over yet. Daniel Sturridge, not as quick as he used to be, but he still gets forward, takes on one, tackled by Sandro. And there's a glimmer there for us to get a goal. But now it's Juventus on the counter to the counter as they run all the way through. Dybala's through, Douglas Costa. Offside. They scored as well. I think Alisson sort of gave up and assumed so. But there we are, 0-0 away at Juventus. And we mentioned it before, we're restricting teams to shots on target. Juve did a really good job of that, doing that to us just there. It'll be interesting to see if they can do it in the home leg, which will be the next episode. 4 shots on target for them as well. Interesting. Fabinho covered 13.1 kilometres in that game for a central midfield player, defensive midfield player as well. That is an awful lot. You can tell why he's so tired. He's going to have a break, I think, for the next few games. But a good performance and a good result, I think. I'm not too disappointed. Hopefully, I'm going to say they were unlucky. It wasn't our night because they didn't respond well to me saying that they were playing well at a draw. Clearly, we've raised expectation levels. We've got an FA Cup game coming up against Brighton, so we can play a slightly rotated side in that one and hopefully get people fully fit as we work again towards that game against Juventus, in which we may well feature the Wolves or Arsenal games in between. As I say, Premier League form is looking really good. Hopefully that continues. City are right on our heels, but 2 points behind as things stand, and Chelsea not too far away either. It's definitely a 3-horse race for the title this season. If you enjoyed today's video, please do drop a like. If you want to see some more, subscribe to the channel, and love with care. If you're not spending next time, I'll see you again very, very soon. I just touched my head. I'll do it again. Goodbye.